3, 2.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Kilmer, the founder and CEO of TERI, and welcome to our Parent and Caregiver Forum. We'll be looking this time, it's been a couple months since we've had one of our forums, at just some program updates. There's been a lot happening here. Some of the things that are happening again that were delayed for over the last year, the Spring Fling, our vocational center, which is about to be completed on the new campus. Smile is Never Far Away is the wonderful remote theater production that our clients and staff produced recently. And the Performing Arts and Fine Arts Center we'll look at because they're the next buildings being built on the campus. And of course, the many campus naming opportunities available, all followed by a question and answer period. Our mission, TERI's about to celebrate 41 years of pursuing this mission, and it really hasn't changed over all these years. It's been to change the way the world sees, helps, and empowers individuals with special needs. And in this last year, we added a tagline to our mission: we change lives, yes, we do. And we've certainly been doing that for these nearly 41 years now. TERI's programs over the last almost a year and a half now since we've been in a pandemic. It's so great to see our students coming back now and returning to their programs. We're returning people as quickly as they can to our adult programs. And as our entire economy is working with a very tough time yet, because as a result, all companies, no matter what industry, are having a challenge hiring people who are still receiving subsidies and various benefits from the government, which has disincentivized a lot of our population from working. So we too are working on filling many positions to build back up to the 500 staff we typically have working at TERI and providing support to your families and your friends. Choices for Adult Learning has been slowly reopening as well, which is fabulous. Center for the Arts and Adult Education, again, slowly reopening. We have a lot of our staff deployed to our homes because the licensing entity at our homes is restricting our adult clients from technically returning to programs. So we've been sending the program to them. They're active out in the community. But we have over 220 adults that we serve here at TERI Monday through Friday, and there's work to be done yet before we'll have everybody back. But we can't wait to have that happen. We're so excited to see our students of all ages coming through our buildings here at our main campus again. Our non-public schools, our two schools, the Country School and the Learning Academy, have both fully returned. There was just a couple student exceptions who are still receiving distance learning. Our staff did such a phenomenal job of creating beautiful distance learning programs for our students of all ages during this last over a year. And I'm happy to report that those programs also have lasting value. So this is just not a for the moment a situation. We created programs that we can use to help people around the country and around the world in the future when we created these distance learning programs. Our enrichment programs, many of those, of course, are open and operating again. Agriculture never stopped, but our students are now being able to come back and work in that program again. Our culinary program was ongoing. It will be opening on a much larger scale as soon as our new building is completed next month. Equestrian is up and running again, so we have students taking lessons. And again, we just keep working to build up our capacity so more and more students can return and benefit from these wonderful programs. Fitness, again, has been up and running again. Inspired Resale has been open for a long time and experiencing its most successful sales numbers ever in its entire over 30-year history. Performing and Fine Arts, again, we've taken Performing and Fine Arts out both remotely and with visits to our students' homes and such. So that's returning here to the site now as well. And of course, vocational training. Our annual sustaining for enrichment programs, I need to thank all of our parents and other donors that have supported our sustaining funds that help make sure our enrichment programs are possible over the period of this pandemic. Our families, many really stepped up and contributed additional funds to make sure that we were supported as we work to retain the jobs for all of the people, the entire staff who work at TERI. No one was laid off during this time. Our residential programs, of course, were open the entire time. And again, we deployed the entire day program Monday through Friday out to our homes. So they've lived the most enriched lifestyle possible under the circumstances. And it's wonderful that our residents have been able to once again enjoy their visits to their families' homes. We're so thrilled to be able to open that up again. We were restricted due to regulations, and those restrictions have been lifted. So it's great to see our guys of all ages in our homes be able to go to their families' homes and visit again. Family Support Services has been up and very active the entire time. So we've been sending staff into families' homes throughout this entire pandemic, and now returning to more of our regular service model. Spring Flings. Every year we have a spring dinner dance, and we call it the Spring Fling, with entertainment and a king and queen of the fling and dinner and such. And so we modified that this year. We could not have one last year, so we're just thrilled to be able to start doing this again. We held it at the Center for the Arts and Adult Education park out in front of that building, and just held it 2 nights in a row so that we could provide more social distancing for our clients. So again, wonderful to have them back and enjoying that. Our families were not included in this yet. They usually are. So Christmas time, we'll see everybody back together again. The Tom and Mary Tomlinson Vocational Center, it has been so wonderful during such a challenging time with this pandemic that construction never ceased on our new campus. So, you know, our undying thanks to Tom and Mary Tomlinson, whose foundation really made a lot of this building possible. They contributed the last $2.2 million that we needed to complete the vocational center. And the center is housing, let's see what our next slide looks like. I should know. Okay, hang on a second. So this says a series of photos of the center as it progressed through the construction. It will be complete on July 23rd. We'll be starting Monday, the 26th of July. We'll be populating that. So we'll be bringing in all of the equipment and furniture and supplies. And in September, on the 16th, we'll have an actual grand opening where we'll open our whole culinary business, the restaurant included in this building, the grab and go coffee bar, the retail center, our agriculture. We're preparing the fields for some more organic agriculture out on the campus. A lot of work will be done, and you'll see the pictures here, but the entire entryway for anybody, hopefully all of you have been there, but if you haven't, the whole access road has been widened and improved and landscaped. There's beautiful stone walls similar to what you're seeing here, and landscaping lining that whole entryway. And then our main entry onto the campus is also complete now. So let's take a look at these pictures. It's very exciting how beautifully this building has turned out, and to finally be able to make these opportunities available to our clients, our families, and the community. So you can see how beautiful that is turning out. We're so near the completion now, another less than a month. And we'll be moving in our commercial kitchen and cafe. The cafe seats 45 people. So we're anticipating everything from individuals and families and community members coming and dining at our restaurant, which is a vocational training opportunity site for our clients, anything from a busboy to a chef to working in the retail shop. We are also working on designing a bakery for a part of the building. So we'll have a bakery with all the opportunities that brings for both sales and vocational training opportunities for our students. Now we're looking at A Smile Is Never Far Away, and that's the wonderful theater production that was done remotely, under the guidance of our two directors at that program, our producer and our director of music and performing arts.
Today, feeling okay, with the sunshine on my face, and I hope it's gonna be a good day. Connected online, took lots of time, where we all connect, it's a lot of stress. Missing all of my friends, will we be together again? A smile is never far away, it's never far away. Gotta respect this time, though it seems so hard to do. We gotta respect this change. Together we will make it through. You and me and you, together again. You know it.
So that's a condensed version, and for anyone that hasn't seen the full production, it's online. It's on our website, and it's beyond enjoyable. So if you haven't seen it, definitely tune in. If you have, I'll bet you want to see it again. The Performing Arts and Fine Arts Center, of course, home of the production. These are the next two buildings that are actually now to be built on the campus. So you can see building E is the Performing Arts building, on the right, the Fine Arts building. These are entirely designed and just coming out of permitting now. So we're not long away from getting the construction on these two buildings started, and we're working on the rest of the campus at the same time. So fundraising continues. We'll be financing part of the campus and fundraising for part of the campus. So look at those naming opportunities, share what we're doing at TERI. These two buildings are going to enable us to move all of our adults onto the new campus at this time. And then we'll follow that by the administration building with the Child Development Center complete, the 3 buildings designated for our 2 schools to move into, and our fitness and health center. It's a complex with an aquatic center with a junior Olympic pool. Our fitness center, which is a 25,000 square foot building to make sure we support fitness and health for all of our clients and all of our staff and the community at large. And then our Culinary Institute, which will be another training institute for everything from busboys to chefs, an indoor dining experience, and another outdoor cafe. So this is going to be a rich and vibrant campus that is a great resource for other people in the community as well. A wonderful place for everybody to come integrate and learn about each other and work side by side, and it incorporates a lot of businesses that will bring additional revenue into TERI for long-term sustainability. Beyond our boundaries here, this is a replication model, so it's been designed to allow others to replicate some or all of our services. And given we've been seeing people for many years now, not just from around the country, which started back in our very beginning, but from around the world. So we're seeing international interest unsolicited from so many countries, and finishing this campus is going to enable us to actually provide the training to enable these people from all of these different countries, states, etc., to replicate those parts of our services, or all that they desire, with the quality standards that we hold near and dear here. Naming opportunities, I mentioned those before, but we're replete with naming opportunities, everything from bricks to trees to buildings to rooms, and it's a wonderful way for people to recognize their family, loved ones, for their company to sponsor. They're all recognition opportunities, and all of those donations will help us build out this campus and retire any mortgage we end up with on it at the end of this building process. Questions and answers.
Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to add them into our chat. But we will get started with one question, which is anonymous, which is there a completion date for the campus?
So for the entire campus, the most aggressive completion date that I could share at this time is 2 years. We're very dependent on the county processing our permits as we move along. They've been very slow, so we're working hard with the leadership in our county here now to get things moving quicker. Otherwise, if that gets back to a reasonable time frame for processing, then it's a matter of design and construction, which should be completed within half a year of additional design for all the other buildings that aren't submitted yet, and a year of construction. So that's the best case scenario, but that's the next time we blink, that'd be the date we're looking at a couple of years from now. So that's our very aggressive goal of completion.
Okay, our next question is, I would like to volunteer at TERI. How do I sign up and what type of volunteer opportunities are available?
Again, we have so many volunteer opportunities depending on the skills and talents that a volunteer brings here to share. So everything from a storyteller to an equestrian, someone who's an equestrian who wants to help at the therapeutic equestrian program, sales and support at the resale shop, fitness instructors, yoga instructors. We're just really replete with volunteer opportunities. So we look at every volunteer you can go online on our website and apply and go through that application process. And we're here and happy to talk to people about how to best use their stories as well, or their talents. So I said stories because we also are looking for some additional storytellers. We would love to create a special individual story for each of the individuals we serve, especially those who can't necessarily express everything that all their dreams in life without someone helping tell their stories. So that's a very long-term goal we've had here at TERI. So storytellers are another special talent that we're looking for.
Okay, we have another question from Anonymous. Can a person attend multiple programs like art and equestrian and culinary at the same time, and how is availability determined?
So yes, people can. That's our entire design, is much like a college campus where a student can come and sign up for their various areas of interest, and then it'd be the same as being at a university where the class needs to be available. So that all is dependent on how many people apply and how many people we can accommodate at any given time. But the goal has always been to offer that kind of diversity and flexibility for students so they can truly go learn in their special areas of interest.
Okay, and we have another question from Anonymous. When will those of us on the residential rate list be able to take a tour?
I don't have an exact date and answer to that program because we're dependent on our regulators. And so touring right now, especially with our residents at home, hasn't been scheduled yet until we make sure that we're meeting all of those regulations. So soon, and we'll announce it to everyone.
And we have another question as well from Anonymous. It says, do you have to live in a TERI group home in order to attend the programs?
So no, absolutely not. There's no requirement to live in one of our group homes to attend the program. A lot of our programs actually came about because we had residents who needed those kinds of supports, and we wanted to make sure they were quality. So we created programs like the Center for the Arts and Adult Education near the very beginning of TERI's history 41 years ago. And so they're all independent.
Okay, we have another question from Anonymous. Have you had out-of-state disability?
I'm sorry, I missed that. Have you what?
Have you had out-of-state disability?
I'm having a little trouble interpreting that question.
Maybe the person who posted that question, if you can give a little bit more detail for Cheryl, we would appreciate that. And we have another question while we wait for more detail to come in. My daughter is currently receiving respite, but I'd like to get her into the residential program with TERI. Is there a wait list?
So yes, there's a wait list, but it's not your traditional definition of a wait list. So for any family who has hopes of their son or daughter or both living in one of our residences, we always recommend that you apply as early as possible so that we learn about the needs of your son or daughter and can evaluate how that fits into any given home. Because these are homes and they're their own form of family, we're always looking for people who are compatible, of course, with the other people living in that home. So unless we're opening a brand new home, we're still working to put together compatible groups of individuals, like you would any group of people living together. If a vacancy occurs because we have an opening in one of our existing homes, that's critical. And that really defines who is appropriate for that placement. Hence, if there's 100 people on a waiting list and you're number 100, that does not determine how soon you receive services. It's all based on need and compatibility. So number 100 could go to number 1 if they're the best fit for the opening that we happen to have. And they're rare. So we're about to open another home for some parents who put together and donated to help make that home come about for TERI. And so those are possibilities as well.
Okay, and we have another question. Will you be growing fruits and vegetables on the campus of life?
Yes, we have 6.5 acres of agriculture planned for the campus of life, and that campus is a 20-acre site. So the first about 2.5 acres are going in adjacent to the vocational center, and then as the rest, and we have a lot of growing already happening on the 2-acre therapeutic equestrian program. And then as the other buildings are built and we're putting landscaping in, a lot of that landscaping will be organic agriculture.
Okay, and we have another question. How do families enroll in these programs? Is there a wait list? And how many students can each program accommodate?
So sadly, there is a wait list at all of our programs, and there has been throughout time. And it's a reflection of how huge the need is out there. So again, we're always looking at compatibility, where that opening is available, and what are the specific needs of the individual applying. So again, I always recommend get your application in. You'll be directed to your regional center so that your case manager can provide us with background information on and all the data that they have on your son or daughter, and make yourself known to TERI so that we can do everything possible to give you the support that you need. This is part of the big reason for replication, so that we can help other agencies replicate programs that truly adhere to the quality standards that we've set here at TERI.
And we have a question, or more of a comment and a question, from Corey Swanson. She says, "Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for all you and TERI Inc. do to bring joy and fulfillment to my daughter Emma's life. When will the adult program be moving over to the new campus?"
So we're anticipating beginning construction soon. We have a little more fundraising to do to meet our terms for our loan for that program. But like I said, the permits being issued now. And so our builders are pretty prepared to move forward. So they're just finishing the vocational center. We want to move right into building the other 2 buildings. So again, anything that families and supporters can do to help us continue to fundraise for that. And we've done all the preparatory work as we've moved along. So we're really thrilled that we're ready for these next 2 buildings, and the building process should take about 10 or 11 months, just like the vocational building did.
And we have a question from Shandon, and she asks, how long is the residential wait list?
We can't, I know that people think there's certain time frames attached to that, but there aren't. Our homes are always full. So essentially it's mainly when one of our residents who's been with us a very long time and entered the senior years of their life passes away. That's mainly when an opening happens in an existing facility. So there's no putting a time frame on that. And then the other possibility for residential is when we open new homes, when families all contribute towards making an opening of a new home possible.
And we have a follow-up to the question that we had before. Have you had
Okay.
out-of-state disabled adults be able to receive in-state benefits to participate at TERI?
Yes, so those are technicalities, but of course, we've had many out-of-state residents families move here to bring their son or daughter here so they can attend TERI. And so once they become a resident here, then our local funding entities take over.
And we have another question. Are the programs paid for by regional center?
All of our programs have different funding entities. So our homes are actually Medi-Cal funded. The schools are funded through the schools that are placing the students. A lot of our other programs like the Center for the Arts and Cal and Transportation are regional center funded programs, with the caveat that no public funder ever funds adequately to provide quality services. That does not exist. So that's why you always hear of us fundraising and creating new businesses to help support the enrichment programs and, all of the quality features that we're dedicated to providing here at TERI.
Okay, and we have another question. How do we learn more about the day program, and is there a wait list for that particular program?
Yes, like I said earlier, we have a wait list for every program that we operate. I wish that wasn't true because, again, it's a sad reflection of the unmet need in our society. But we do have a wait list everywhere, and it varies from program to program. And again, it's so individualized as far as what opening we have and the needs of the person applying that there's no putting a timeline on it.
And another question is, how does a family go about donating a home as you just spoke about?
So that would be a call to our COO. That's a more technical matter, so you'd want to talk about that individually. And Bill Mira, our COO, is doing a lot of the initial introduction and conversations with parents about the various ways to make that possible.
Okay, and we have a few more questions here. We have one from Mary Kay. Would you consider partnering or helping to create other facilities in other areas, such as this one, to help with high demand of clients?
So that's exactly why we've worked on a replication model throughout these years. So that's been part of our mission and vision since the very beginning, was to create programs that modeled quality standards so that other agencies, other different groups of people we could help them create additional programs across the country and beyond.
And we have another question. How many residents do you currently accommodate?
So we currently have 12 homes with 73 residents total. And a 13th about to open.
And we have just about 2 more questions here for you, Cheryl. One is, how do I become a monthly donor for TERI's enrichment programs?
So that can actually be done online. And of course, members of our development department are here to speak with donors as well. So either contacting the development department or deciding that you want to go online and contribute that way. Either way, we're here to support you. Our monthly donors, our sustaining fund donors, make a huge difference here at TERI. So it's taken us a lot of years to build that up. We're always working to build it because it just makes the programs better and better. But we have many supporters, including families who make monthly donations throughout time. It makes a huge difference.
And then we have another question about the day program. How many attend the day program?
Well, we have more than one day program, but our Center for the Arts and Adult Education typically has about 185 adults attending, and we transport the majority of those as well. Our CAL, Choices for Adult Learning, has about 30 individuals now attending, and that's our very enriched ratio program that's one of a kind in California.
And it looks like we have one more question here. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Performing Arts and Fine Arts Center? What type of programs and services will be running out of that facility?
So our adults will actually move over there and have a variety of opportunities at the campus as it is. The arts centers, the Fine Arts Center will just be, I call what we have now a microcosm of what the larger centers will accommodate. Our centers are 11,000 square feet each, so they're much larger than our current art centers are. Anybody that's seen the music room, same thing. So the Fine Arts Building has everything from ceramics to oils to unique textiles. It's going to have just this broad array with larger studios and more opportunities than we have now. And the Performing Arts Center has a theater that seats 208 people. So we'll have a stage to actually hold our own productions, for rehearsals, for learning, for the public to rent and come in. And then at our culinary programs, we could actually be the vendor that provides the food and have a business and vocational opportunities there. So a vast array of music rooms and a couple of really beautiful sensory rooms for some of our clients who are wheelchair bound and have more limited opportunities for enrichment and such. So we've designed those specifically for that group of the clients that we serve. They're just going to be, and there's a recording studio in the Performing Arts Building. So just really rich in opportunities. And then of course, equestrian's there, vocational buildings there, and of course, lots of nice outdoor space. So lots more opportunities that we have now, bigger and better.
And we have about two more questions. One is, does TERI have a preschool age program for students with special needs?
So for anyone that hasn't been around TERI for lots and lots of years, you probably aren't aware that we actually had our own child development center for about 21 years. And that center was attended by children of staff, including, of course, anybody that had a child with special needs, and we had some. And we used to do some studies where we integrated kids at that time, preschoolers with autism, to study that, and did a study with Children's Hospital back in those years, looking at what that integration looks like and what's the most effective way to pursue it. And now we'll be reopening one. There's about a third of the building that is called the administrative building is a child development center for kids with special needs as well as kids with more typical.
And another question is, do you apply for adult day programs through Regional Center?
Yes, both with us and regional centers. So talking to the director, you'll get specific directions on how to do that.
And a follow-up question from Mary Kay was just asking, where is the best way to get information on partnering with TERI's to create more facilities in other areas?
You can just contact us and put that question out there, and we'll arrange for some discussion for the next conversation to occur with myself or with our COO.
And with that question, unless anyone else has any last minute questions, that will be the conclusion of our Q&A session.
So thanks everybody for attending. We're here for any other questions that people may have. And of course, we'll hope to see people at our various openings that we're having, so you can come enjoy and learn more about the new campus. And anyone you can introduce that would be interested in helping us with our pursuits, since they're large, please introduce them to us as well. Okay, are we off?